And I'm going to go ahead and get started with our actual programming here since it is noon. Welcome to the library's virtual open house. I'm Rob Stevens, and I'm excited to host this open house. Today, I am here with a cohort of our librarians to talk about our services, um, to talk about, to introduce ourselves to you so that you can get to know us. And we are so excited that the library is open this semester, that our services are still running. And if you have any questions, we are having a little bit of difficulty with our chat at this time. William, if you can post something in the chat just to let everyone know that we're here and that you're here moderating. And if you can use that, you can put our el.reference@nichols.edu email in there for questions. And we will be monitoring that if we can. If maybe Elizabeth Layton could pull up the reference email and just have that in the background in case somebody sends an email. That would be wonderful. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to start by talking about the library's website and the services that we offer there. So on our library website, I'm on the home page. And you can find the library's website if you are on the nichols.edu homepage and click current students. Then the current students will take you to a library link here, and that library link will take you right here to the library's homepage. There's some really helpful functions here. So the top bar looks just like the rest of the Nichols website, but right here in this white box, you can have the option to chat with a librarian live. Whenever this box is lit up red like it is now, you can chat with the librarian live. If you click that chat with us button, there'll be a librarian waiting for you. You can ask them research questions. You can ask them questions about citations, about the library services, anything that you might need help with. You can also text us at 985-202-7411. And that's another great way to get in touch with the library. And you can find our hours in this box as well for each of our different departments. So right now, our main library is open from 7:30 to midnight, but you can see that we have archives and government information and serials have different hours. And if you want to see hours in the future, you can click view all hours, and that is a great way to do that. William is going to go ahead and post our hours in the chat there, and a link to our hours in case you want to see it. The next area I want to show you is the links across this red bar here. So we're on the home page, and we have some resources here that are really useful. So right here, you can click to schedule poster printing, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, but if you are a student or faculty member and you're presenting at a conference, you can click that to schedule to print a poster up using our tech services. You can make requests using Interlibrary Loan here, which is where we borrow from other libraries. You can renew your books. You can visit our subject guides. The subject guides are really helpful guides that you can search by subject. So if you wanted a subject guide in English, say, you could click on the English subject guide, and we have subject guides on English 101, 102, etc. So if you need help starting your research or anything like that, the subject guides are really useful. And then back under resources, we also have some video tutorials, something that we're building up, tutorials on things like how to do citations, how to do a hanging indent, how to work in MLA and APA, those sorts of things. The next area that I'd like to introduce you to is our student portal, which is a really great place if you are a student to get started with your research and get started with using the library's resources. From the student portal, you can book an appointment with a librarian. We can sit down one-on-one with you and do what's called a research consultation. It's a meeting that we can do virtually or in person where we can teach you how to do things like cite and find research. If you're stuck on a topic and you need to expand that topic, you need to get better sources, you don't know where to look, you don't know where to get started. Maybe you're midway through your research and you just hit a block. Maybe you're at the end of the paper and you need help with one of those citation formats. You can schedule an appointment with a librarian here. It's a list of all of our librarians, and if you click schedule appointment, these red buttons, we have a schedule set up where you can just schedule from right there. We also have the option for you to reserve a study space. We have group study rooms in the library, and you can book those here. And it's really good to do that ahead of time, especially during high traffic times like during midterms or finals Finally, we have a link to our Intro to Infolic classes, which is a series of asynchronous classes that some of students are taking. These are meant to help with information literacy, things like how to be a better researcher, how to be a better digital citizen, how to protect your information online, those sorts of things. Our faculty portal has great information for faculty. There's a link to Credo Reference, which is, Credo Instruct, which is some modules that you can and videos that you can embed into your classroom. You can recommend a purchase from us if there's a book that you're interested in, your faculty member. You can also schedule a class to hold with the librarian. If you'd like to request instruction, just put your name and information here. And there are other tools for the virtual classrooms. We have our About Us page with our library staff, events, news, policies, and suggestions. And our department pages, we'll be talking more about our specific departments a little bit later in this. And finally, I'm going to come back to the homepage and go over some more of the things on this page. If you are just starting research and you are looking for a place to get started, one of the things you can do is probably the first place you want to go is this library search box. There are several tabs here. Our discovery tab, we often call kind of the Google of the library, and we call it that because it is the place that opens the most doors for doing research. It's a great place to just get started with your research. It has full text and scholarly articles. It has videos. It has ebooks. It has our whole catalog in there and lots of databases. If you know you want a specific database, or if you know there's a database that maybe isn't covered in that area, you can come to our databases tab, click all databases, and you can even search by subject. So if I'm looking for, say, mathematics databases, here are our mathematics database includes a link to email the expert in the subject, which is our Access Services librarian, Elizabeth Layton. And then if you just want to search the catalog, physical books, and what the library has, you can use this catalog tab. You can also search for textbooks. This is a really great place to, if I were a student every semester, I would come here and see if the library had my textbooks. Because if the library had our textbooks, often they're on reserve in the library. You can come to our Access Services desk and check those out. Sometimes we have ebooks for your classes. And the way you do this, you can search by course name, you can search by course ID or your instructor name and click to find textbooks. Finally, a publications tab, if you have a specific publication that you want to look up, a journal or periodical, you can see if we have that publication and look in it. Scrolling down, we have our virtual display, which we change out monthly. Right now, it is our Black History Month display. In the past, we've had a winter display, we've had e-textbooks display, and it's just ebooks that we have on a specific topic. If you want to look at the home page of it, you can click this tab, this Black History Month Virtual Display tab. It'll take you to the virtual display. You can read a little bit about each one of the books in the virtual display. And those books are all available to check out for checkout. They're ebooks available to be checked out by Nichols community members. And finally, we have our events and news. So you can see we've got our library open house here. We're having some study nights, that sort of thing, and news about the library. And here we have links to follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, as well as our mission statement. I am going to switch over here to a presentation where we're going to give a virtual tour of the library. And today we'll be working with our librarians who will be introducing you to this space, to our spaces. Our librarians, we have Elizabeth Layton, myself, Lynn Cowles, Elizabeth Batt, Mark Love, Ellen Jenkins, and Brandy Brabante, as well as Cliff Terrio. And I'm going to get started by handing it over to our library director, Elizabeth Batt.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for attending our open house. As library director, my biggest goal is to make this space an inclusive space for all of you at Nichols. We welcome you with open doors, and we hope that you find the resources that you're looking for, but then we also want you to get to know us. So I hope that you reach out to your subject liaisons. And if you ever have any issues or concerns or any great news to pass along, feel free to reach out to me as well. We are always here to welcome you. So thank you guys so much again for attending.
And yeah, we've got a picture here up of our spring 2021 hours. You can see, I mentioned that on the website, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to midnight, 7:30 to 4:30 p.m. on Fridays, and Sundays from 3 to 11 p.m. And we're going to do a couple of little trivia questions along the way. So as you're watching this, you can play along. The first question is, how many physical items, books, DVDs, etc., does the library have for checkout? And this is just a guessing question, a fun question. I'll give a hint, which is that several 100,000, but see if you can guess that number before we go on, and I'll give the answer after a couple of slides here. What I'm showing now is our first floor check-in desk. The first floor check-in is where right now during COVID times you come in and take your temperature and check in, get your bracelet if you don't already have one. If you have one, you can show it. We are wearing masks in the library. I'm not wearing one now because I'm in my office isolated, but while in the public space of the library, we're wearing masks and practicing social distancing. You can also see we have computer screens that flash information about the library in this first floor check-in desk area. To the left, once you walk in the library, is the Ellender Lab. The Ellender Lab is a first floor computer lab, and you can see a picture of it here. There is also going to be a makerspace coming soon, and there's some really awesome renovations going on there. So if you're in the library and you hear some noise, know that that's what they're working on. They're renovating that space to make it better for you. This renovation is possibly going to include a coffee shop. It's really going to turn into a fantastic place to hang out. So we're really excited about the renovations going on in that first floor Ellender Lab. That question was, how many physical items does the library have for checkout, books, DVDs, etc.? The answer is 546,146. And if you're wondering, how did I come upon that number? I went to the library's catalog, which I think William is going to post a link to in our YouTube. The library's catalog, you can search for the catalog. If you just do an empty search with nothing in it, and then you exclude online resources, you can come up with that number. Here in the first floor lobby, and I've got a video showing what this first floor lobby looks like. When you go through those first doors, you can see there's a Starbucks coffee machine, our display there, and a staircase leading upstairs. Sometimes students walk in and say, like, well, where are the books? Where are, where's the front desk? And the front desk is actually upstairs, but there's some really cool stuff in this space. Straight ahead, you have the display case, study space, and technical services. Upstairs is where you have the checkout desk of books, study rooms, GovInfo, serials, and archives. Here's a fun little game about our social media, little trivia. Which of these is not a real Nichols Library social media post? Our handle on most of our social media is @Nichols Library. The first post is free Mardi Gras beads. Come by the library and get your bag of Mardi Gras beads at Nichols State. We've put bags on the tables of each of our floors. The second post is our third floor is the quiet floor. So come by GovInfo for a great place to study at Nichols State. And our third floor is our and option number 3 is our noise canceling headsets available for checkout. Need a better online class experience? We've got noise canceling headphones available, or headsets available for in-library checkout. They come with a built-in microphone. One of these is not an actual social media post, and the other 2 are. And I'll reveal the answer in just a minute here. But I wanted to show off our first floor study space and displays. This video on the right is going to walk you through the first floor study space. You can see the display on the right, and that there's some carrels and some chairs and seating for studying. On the right side, there is also the career services office, if ever you're looking for that building. There's bathrooms to the right back there. So this is just a little glimpse into our physical space on the first floor. I also wanted to show this TikTok, and I'm not sure whether you'll be able to hear the music, but this is an example of the types of things we're doing on TikTok. It's also our current display, a Black History Month display by Visuals by Duke. He's a student on campus. Rodney does amazing work, and here's it is. So Rodney shared some of his photography with us, and we're really proud of that photography. It's on the first floor if you want to see it. I'll play that TikTok one more time. So our first floor display, it changes out about once every month, sometimes a little shorter or longer than that, and it always has really interesting stuff in it. The answer to our which of the social media posts is true is the second one. Number 1 and number 3 are real social media posts. Number 2, we haven't posted on social media, but all 3 of these things are true. Right now we have Mardi Gras beads that we're putting out in the library. You can come and grab some. We do have noise canceling headsets for checkout. And the third floor Gov Info is a quiet study space. So if you're looking for a quiet place to come and study, that's a really great place to look. We're going to go upstairs now to the second floor to find the books, checkout desk, computers, and more. And on the second floor, we're going to start with our second floor landing and display cases. There's 2 display cases on the second floor. Right now, they're showing the Chinese New Year's display and a New Year resolutions display. Those are done by our librarians, Elizabeth Layton, who we'll talk to in a second, did the one on the left, and Ellen Jenkins did the one on the right. And you can see I have a little arrow here showing where Access Services is. It is to the right. But before we go to Access Services, one more little fun fact. True or false, students can check out books from inside libraries' displays. It's an interesting question. I always thought as a student I couldn't touch those. The correct answer is that it's usually true. Usually books in libraries' displays are available for checkout. At very least, if you're interested in a book in the displays, ask us. Occasionally we do put archives material that can't be checked out in there, but for the most part of the reason why we make those displays is to show off the books in our collection. So we want you to check them out, and we don't mind taking them out of displays most of the time to allow you to check them out. I'm going to hand this over to Elizabeth Layton now, our Access Services librarian, who's going to talk about some of our resources on the second floor there.
Hey there. So my name is Elizabeth Layton. I am the Access Services librarian, and my office is located behind the Access Services desk on the second floor. At the Access Services desk, we have a lot of services that we offer. You can check out books or anatomical models for your nursing classes and biology. We have laptops, DVDs, power banks that you can check out to charge your electronics, as well as markers for the whiteboards that we have in our group study room. Athletics can swipe up at the second desk to track their study hall hours. And you can also get help from a librarian, either for interlibrary loans, checking out textbooks, or to receive any kind of services such as research help. On the second floor, we also have some really cool electronics devices. We have the Kick Scanner, which you can use to scan any of your documents or textbook chapters into a PDF. You can turn them into note cards for you to be able to use on the app on your phone, as well as email it to yourself so that you have access to them later and you can highlight them through your Adobe Acrobat reader. We also have computers in the front. They are all PC computers that you can use for you to help with your research, or if you just need to catch up on a paper. And we also have ample study space. We reorganized the space recently where the front, in front of the circulation desk, is individual study. And then around towards the back, what you kind of see in the second picture is for groups of 2, which are socially distanced. And then later on, you'll see we have larger areas for groups of 4. We also have some book displays. Right now, we're doing Blind Date with a Book, which is one of my favorite displays of the year. You simply pick out a book if you like any of the keywords or any of the clues of what's inside. And then you go up to the circulation desk or the Access Services desk. And as soon as you unwrap it, you get to see what blind date you have. We also have group study rooms, which due to recent policies, they're available for 1 to 2 students only, but they are available for checkout. You can have them up to 3 hours at a time and schedule this all online on the student portal. So it's available to you anytime during the semester. You can also walk up to any of the group study rooms that don't have students in them, scan the QR code, and you can reserve the space all on your phone. We also have this new collaborative study space where groups of 4 can socially distance and work together on projects. We have certain casual seating as well as the Mac computers in case that's something that you're more comfortable working with. And we have moved the fit desks all the way to the back for more comfortability. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to jump back in here. My name is Rob Stevens, by the way. I may have introduced myself at the beginning, but I am the Research and Instruction Librarian, which means that what I want to talk about now is, here's a picture of my office. It's on the second floor. And I really want to encourage you to think about meeting with a librarian if you're interested. You can book a librarian using the link that William is going to post in our YouTube here. It's also in the student portal. You can meet with a librarian for help with finding scholarly sources, citations, the research process, and you can always email me at rob.stevens@nichols.edu or any of the librarians for a meeting if you're interested. Those research consultations can be so helpful to being successful and can make your research process a lot smoother. So feel free to, don't hesitate to get in touch. Next here, we're at the third floor lobby. So we're going upstairs from the second floor. To the left in this picture, once you get up, this is what it looks like. To the left, we have our HiFlex computer lab. Ahead, we have serials and archives. And to the right, we have our government information department. So here's a little true or false here. True or false, if the library doesn't have a book in our collection, there's no way to get it. Give you a second to put your guess in for whether you think that's true or false. You can type it in the YouTube chat if that YouTube chat is working for you. And the answer is false. You can use Interlibrary Loan, also known as Iliad. That was one of the links in the resources tab on our homepage, is to Interlibrary Loan. Interlibrary Loan is a system where we have a partnership with other libraries in the state and also outside of the state, where we loan them books and articles and resources that they don't have, and they will loan us those same things. In order to do that, if you have to put in a request, and it usually takes about 2 weeks. It can take a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, depending on what you request. It's a great way to get books and resources that we don't have. Our HiFlex labs, which were to the left on the third floor, are a great place to stop and take an online class. There are some computers in there, as you can see. You can also just take a computer up there. If you have a class and say you've got one in person and then one that is online, and you need to, you can't make it all the way home, this is a great place to come and listen to your online class. You can check out headphones if you like, or listen to your class however, or bring your headphones in if you need to. And we're going to go to government information here, which was to the right on the third floor, and I'll hand it over to Mark Love, who will talk a little bit about the government information department.
Yes, government information. So what we do in our department is we help users that need to find government information. So you may have a need to find some government information to help you with something that you're researching, or for one of your assignments. You may need to find some statistics or some congressional documents or something. Those are types of things that we can help with. Also, you can see there, we've got our Louisiana documents there. So we have state documents as well as federal. And like I said, if you have a need to find sort of authoritative information like statistics on various topics, we can help you find the government sources that have those. Or any of, like I said, any other sort of information you need from a government agency, the state legislature, the Congress. We also have our map room there, so we do have maps. If you have a need to see a big flat map of a state or an area, or even foreign countries, we have some of that too as well.
Mark, I think you may have accidentally muted there for just a second.
Okay. We do also have study space available that you can see there. So we got definitely have some room. It's a good, quiet place to study. We do have some computers available as well. So we're kind of tucked away up here on the third floor, and sometimes students aren't aware of where we're at, but we're here. We can help you with your, like I said, if you have government related research questions, and then also again we provide a nice place to study.
All right, and we're going to go to another third floor department, which was straight ahead from that platform. And we're going to talk to Ellen Jenkins. She's our newest librarian, and she's wonderful. She is the serials department head and electronic resources librarian, and she'll talk to you a little bit about our serials department now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ellen Jenkins. Like Rob said, I'm the newest member to the team. I'm the electronic resources librarian and also head of serials. And my office is located on the third floor. And this is where we have our serials. And you're probably asking yourself, what are serials? Serials are actually print magazines and journals. And also we carry newspapers as well. Our department also manages the electronic databases that Rob introduced you to on our library website at the beginning of this tour. And also want to mention that the third floor serial space is known as the quiet study floor. So if you're wanting some individual study time, this would be the floor to go on. It's nice and quiet. We have plenty of tables and chairs, and we also need computers. I mean, if you need a computer, we also have computers here on the third floor. Thanks, Rob.
And we're going to now go to our archivist, Cliff Terrio. The archives is located kind of through the back of serials, and they aren't in the process of moving. They used to be mainly downstairs. So a little bit of a process of moving, but Cliff will tell you a little bit more about archives now. Thank you, Cliff.
All right, thanks, Rob. The Archives and Special Collections has several different divisions. One division is the University Archives, which keeps things such as the yearbooks, the old Nichols bulletins, and we even have an entire collection of the Nicholsworth newspapers. And we also started collecting the Nicholsworth magazines. We also keep all of the non-current papers from all the university departments across campus, including the president's office. The Special Collections Division has things such as the manuscripts or our local history collections. And these collections document the history of this region, which includes all of the surrounding parishes, in addition to Thibodaux and Lafourche Parish. And we have things such as diaries, scrapbooks, ledgers, oral histories, Civil War letters, World War II letters, tons of historic photographs of the region, as well as historic maps and survey maps of the area. We have a large genealogy collection, which contains resources primarily for this region, but we also have genealogy resources from other states and other countries even. We also house the Louisiana and Rare Book Collection here in the archives. And these are books either written by a Louisiana author or about Louisiana. And our rare books are books that are housed here because of their rarity as well as their condition. The oldest book we have in the library dates to the 1600s, and that's housed here in the archives. We have a newspaper division, which includes microfilm of local newspapers such as the Comet and the Houma Courier. And that's all the microfilm in the archives annex. Now, the archives has actually two locations. The main archives is located on the first floor, right off of the main lobby. And the archives annex, which Rob was mentioning to you earlier, is located in the serials department on the third floor. And that's where our microfilm collection is, as well as our map research room. And due to COVID, we're only open by appointment. So if you need to research anything in the archives, please feel free to reach out to me. My phone number and email information are all on the website. And again, if you need any help, please let me know. All right, Rob.
Thank you so much, Cliff, for that great introduction to archives and special collections. The last department I'll talk about is on the first floor, and it's there to the left back of the first floor, and that's our tech services. Tech services is where our books get cataloged and processed. It's also where there's poster printing, and I noted their excellent seasonal decor. If you're ever in that department, I always love the way that they decorate. They decorated for Mardi Gras here in this picture. Here's some examples of some really great novels that were just added to our collection, and a little bit of nonfiction. These were added for as requested by some English department faculty for their classes, but they are available for checkout. And poster printing is a really excellent service provided by our tech services department. Tech services offers students who are working on conference presentations, specifically Scholars Expo, to print out these beautiful posters. They also offer poster tubes that will protect those posters so that they stay nice and dry and clean. If you are interested in poster printing, we put a link to poster printing in the YouTube chat. You can also find it in the resources tab on our library homepage. And I'm now going to plug our social media. We are really growing in social media, and we have a lot of fun. I am the social media manager here, and we are regularly posting on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our handle, typically our screen name is @NicholsLibrary. And I'm going to play a TikTok just for fun here to kind of show you the type of content we're doing on TikTok. Some of it is educational, and we teach on some of the platforms, especially on YouTube. On TikTok, we like to both be informative but also have fun. We did this several months ago toward the beginning of when it was time to start wearing masks. So this is a TikTok just to show you the type of content we're putting out. And so it's a silly TikTok we put out. If you are on TikTok, I ask you to follow. We're really growing our followers there, but also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. And we have more open house resources. We actually have a subject guide where you can find more resources about the open house. That's nichols.libguides.com/open house. This includes a video tour, games, and more. I'm going to go back to the website and show you where that is. You can find it in our subject guides. If you go to all guides and you type in open house, you can see we have a library open house, and it's got our promotional. We have a video tour. It's a different video tour than the one that we just gave. An Ellender Library puzzle that you can put together. You can make it more or less pieces. It's very fun. A general trivia game called Are You Smarter Than the Librarian? And other fun activities that we have in the form of our De-Stress Fest, which has coloring pages, gaming, some music and sounds, the puzzles, stories and documentary, eating well and tea, some writing prompts, yoga and meditation, and miscellaneous. These are great and fun resources for you to have. So if you want more information about the library, you can always do that. And please always feel free to contact us, and we'll go ahead and put this in the chat. But you can always contact us with questions by texting us, chatting us, or emailing us at el.reference@nichols.edu. That's el.reference@nichols.edu. That is our reference email. Feel free to get in touch with your research questions about the library, or anything else you may have. I appreciate everyone who tuned in to watch our virtual open house. Thank you to our librarians for taking the time to come and explain their departments. It was a delight to see you all. And I hope that you guys all have a very productive semester, and I hope that we see you each in the library. And I am going to say that if anyone has any questions, I'll wait on the video here for just a few minutes and see if there's any questions. You can type them into the chat. I'll be monitoring it. Otherwise, y'all have a great day, and I appreciate it. And I'll talk here just to make sure that my screen is featured. Thanks to librarians for hanging out in the Zoom. You're welcome to leave the Zoom. And Elizabeth, I have the Zoom under control here, so. And so far, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'll be closing down the session here. Feel free to email us again. I will go ahead and type our email into the chat here. If you have any questions, please email us with those questions. And thanks for coming to our open house today.